Good. Oh, just had a cough attack. Good evening, Patrick. How we doing, man?
Hey, doing good. How are you, Brent?
Good, good. You know what Wednesday, what week it is? Finally,
Wednesday.
today's Wednesday. We figured that out earlier.
Yeah,
But do you know what's happening this weekend? It's so cool.
it's gonna be the 12th.
Yes, it
Wait,
is.
in Meridian, we're going racing?
It's time to go racing, man. Race season starts this Saturday locally. The first local track up and running. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Black Canyon Raceway is going to get the city of Emmett rolling on Friday night with some outlaw kart racing, their first event of 2025. And then just down the road from Black Canyon Raceway, we've got the Motorplex at the Mill. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We've got Travis Milburn with us. Another big season for one of the newest racetracks in the Northwest.
And it's off to a great start. I know last year, a lot of we had some folks that race at Meridian and Twin go up there and participate in some of the events. We had people from Salt Lake area, I know, cruising up there. I was seeing on the social media having a blast. Eric Reed, I saw a bunch of stuff from him, and that everybody's having a good time up there. Sounds like.
Yeah, beautiful facility that Travis and John are going out there. We're going to talk to Travis a little bit about that. Kart Idaho, also one of their endeavors, is into their 2025 season, getting ready for some big things this year. We'll ask him about all the cool stuff, concerts and parties and race cars and everything going on at the mill out there in Emmett. So it's going to be pretty cool. Remember, you can comment, so interact, chat with us, ask questions, comments. What are you guys looking forward to out at the Motorplex at the mill this year? And I know Travis and these guys have been really working really hard for the drivers, and that's some things that we'll talk to him about too. So let's get to it. We do want to thank our sponsors, though, before we bring Travis on. The Friends at the Race to End Bullying. They have been a huge help. Overturf Photography is in the house. Without those two families, really, we would be FaceTiming each other, talking to ourselves about racing, Patrick.
Yeah, it would be very much less cool than it is right now. So thanks to the Race to End Bullying and the folks at Overturf Photography.
Yeah, and then just some of our supporters, Idaho CDL, Western Cargo, Iron Body Fitness, and Scent Savvy. Those are some folks that support the local racetrack, and we want to give them a little extra shout out here on the YouTube page for the Pit Stop Podcast. So go like the YouTube page. Patrick and I beg and beg. We got to get it. The more you, what's the word? The more that subscribe, the more that we're able to be found. Right?
Yes, the more folks that we have subscribed to our channel, the more opportunities we have to share things with you and do different things and connect more people that we want to bring in to the show. So be more fun.
And I also forgot Performance Signs and Graphics, Mike Soyseth and the crew. They've got the Pit Stop Podcast banner behind us. So between them and Overturf Photography, they're trying to make us look good, which is not very easy, Patrick.
It takes a team. It literally takes different crews all working together.
Yes. So we appreciate all those folks. Again, we couldn't do it without them. As we get rolling into the race season, we've been really hitting the preseason stuff, racetracks and tours, and we were just BSing with some of the outlaw kart winter people, and next thing you know, January, February, and March are gone, and we're there. But I before we even I just want to thank all those folks that came on with us over the winter. We really appreciate it. I think it was pretty cool. But now it's race time. Now it's summertime.
That's it.
Well, not really. I think it's going to be like 78 here tomorrow, and then like 53 the next day. But we'll take one day at a time. What's it like down there?
So this week it's been all right. 60s has kind of been average in the day, right? Low 40s at night, whatever. Right now we're at 57, northern Utah, just south of the Idaho line. So not too bad.
Not bad at all. I know it was, I forgot to turn off the furnace in my house. It was 81 when I got home about 30 minutes ago in my house.
Yikes.
So it is not a year. Is a sweat place right now. We got all the windows open. So or tuna, wherever I am. Tuna. So yeah, Motorplex at the mill. Long time coming. We had Travis on last year, talking a lot about what they had, the hard work that they've done, and the crew and everybody that went out there. I had the honor of going out there and helping them a little bit, um, doing some fire crew stuff and video, trying to get the Pit Stop podcast to show some of their racing and stuff. But it's a new year, and I know that there's a lot going on in the great city of Emmett. And Travis Milburn joins us now. Travis, how we doing? You feeling better?
Yes.
You're on your deathbed last time we were trying to get you on here.
Yeah. No, I think that was the sickest I've been in like 3 or 4 years. Like I couldn't move for 2 days. So I feel bad, but
No,
I'm back. So
Dude, good thing it's before season starts, though. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, if that happened like 3 weeks from now, that would have been bad.
I see. I had some gals come into work this week, and they're like, "Yeah, I got bronchitis," and I was like 6 feet away at least, or you're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My dad's not feeling too well right now, and go up to the hospital, to see him. And I'm the first one. I've never been like a germaphobe, but it's race season, so it's like I got like the little yellow coat on. I've got the mask, the shield, the rubber gloves. My dad's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Races start this weekend. You are not getting me sick. Love you."
Yeah.
Be careful.
But good. Well, no, we're glad you're feeling better.
Yep. You too.
2025, man. I know you guys have been working on everything out there at the mill for years, trying to get this together. Are you guys ready? This is a new year. I know you've done some changes with, maybe the payouts, the classes, that sort of thing. Tell us what you got planned, and then we'll dig in a little deeper.
Yeah, no, I mean, some of the big changes this year are we have a big money race for the prolates this year, Memorial Day weekend, which we're going to start hammering social media and doing a lot of advertising for that here pretty soon. And then the big thing for the racers this year locally on top of that was the payout increases for the prolates and the modifieds, as well as we are now running Bandoleros and Legends full-time rather than just a partial schedule this year. And I guess full-time for us, when people think full-time, they're running 6 races since we only have 8 total dates. So full-time at the mills, obviously not what it is at Meridian or Magic Valley. But so Jerry Davis literally lives a few minutes from the track. So he was by a bunch and wanted to run a bunch more races. And we were pretty much just like, how many races you want to run? And we let them tell us, and then we put them on the schedule. So, but with the big thing with the payouts for like the prolates and modifieds was just, we've been really working hard on the Roadhouse, and then the kart track's seen a lot of success as well. So myself and John, we just were like, hey, Roadhouse is rolling now. Kart track's starting to do good. So let's give some more money back to the racers. So for this year, we're both taking our 2 businesses and sponsoring the 2 classes and upping the payouts on both classes, along with the bonuses for both classes for full-time competitors, regardless of how many show up. And we have that all posted on our social media. So if anyone wants to check that out, but just trying to do everything we can to give back to the racers. And we got some more stuff to help the racers out that we'll be finalizing here pretty soon. And you'll be seeing stuff about that as well. So, but big stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
At this moment.
So you guys get rolling in May. So still a few weeks out.
Yep.
But you guys have been pretty busy there on the property. I know seems like the concert scene has stepped back up, and a lot of the stuff that brings other uses to the venue as well. Tell us a little bit about firing that back up full speed, because it seems like the schedule looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, we only have 8 car races, but we have about 50 or 60 events currently scheduled on the property right now. And that doesn't include anything I got going on at Kart Idaho either. So it's pretty slammed almost every weekend. But we just had Sarah Evans last weekend, which was a huge success, especially since it was the first time we've had a big concert where we did everything ourselves. Whereas before we were partnered with Stonies from Vegas. Now it's completely on us. So it went really well in my view for our first big concert. And then we just had a drift event this past weekend with Idaho Drift. And then we got Silver Sage Porsche Club coming out in a week or two and doing Time Attack same weekend as we got Creed Fisher. So there's already 4 or 5 events that we've had before we even kick off the circle track season. So it's going to be like that all year long, just all sorts of different stuff. So it's fun, but it's a lot of work, but it's fun work. So
right, yeah, definitely going to keep you guys busy. Like we got a couple of folks chiming in, come and give Travis some props, or Patrick and I take compliments too, right? Sherry Waters on board watching us tonight, so hi Sherry.
Craig's my best friend. He's just trying to brown nose me right now. That's all.
Oh, is he really?
He wants free tickets to the races.
Yeah. Thanks,
maybe
Craig.
Maybe I'm gonna comment something good about Travis on here too. See what
I know. Yeah, if he hands out tickets, I'll start typing here too.
Yeah. Patrick, I know Patrick had a couple of questions. About you guys and the journey that you guys have been on. So I'm gonna turn it over to Patrick for a second. What you got now?
Yeah, Travis, I wanted to ask. So it's been, for someone that doesn't know, like we could say, long story short, Travis has been working on this for years, right? You've been in the racing world for a long time. Can you share your journey, like a summary, your journey in motorsports and kind of how it led you to become the promoter of the mill there in Emmett?
I'll try to make it short, but kind of go through it. I started racing at 5 in karts down in Reno, and then transitioned up here and started running karts in about 05, 06, where I also started running Bandoleros when John took over Meridian. He actually brought Inex to Meridian. So when Bandoleros first got started, I was one of the guinea pigs to go out there and see how it worked. So I ran at Meridian for a few years while John owned the track. And then about the time that John and Kenny Hamilton sold the track, that's when I started doing the ARCA West stuff, and then would still come back to Meridian just more of on a part-time basis, just with the West schedule and all the conflictions. And then I went to college for business and sports marketing, and worked for my family business down there while I also raced part-time in the West Series and also ran super late models and late models all up and down the West Coast for a while. And then we sold the business in 2018 and I moved back up here, and that's when we were building Kart Idaho. So John wanted me to, get some experience running a track. And he hadn't really had any experience in the karting world. So he had me pretty much do what I do now and take over the kart track and run it myself. And that's where, from a top position, I was able to learn how to grow something from ground zero on up. And now Kart Idaho has the Spud Cup, which is one of the biggest races in the Western United States now. So I know how to take something from literally nothing to making it really big. And then we built the mill and built the speedway, and then it's just I just transitioned into, he has me as the promoter, but really we both have that position. He just is more of like, you're a way better public speaker than me, so I do all the talking to everybody. Whereas he's like, I just want to be behind the scenes doing all the other stuff. So I get to be the face that everyone either shakes my hand or yells at me, but it's all good. So yeah,
Right
that's
on.
kind of a short, quick story about it.
Okay, so whether it's experience from early days karting, bandoleros, to racing in the ARCA series, and folks, if you're watching this and you don't know what the ARCA, you haven't heard of that, Google it. Kind of a serious deal. But your racing experience, how do you think that's influenced how you're doing things as a promoter now?
Well, and for everyone that looks up the ARCA series, look at the ARCA series back in 2010 to like 2013, 14, because it was a lot different then than it is now. So a lot of racers, the ARCA series, because of expense, has kind of gone
Kind of
down.
fizzled.
Yeah. So whereas when I used to run in it, that's when like Larson, Elliott, Blaney, all the Bubba Wallace, those were the guys I was racing against all the time. So it was a lot different deal then. But I would just say that I've raced at the grassroots level, and I've raced all sorts of different divisions all the way up through the ARCA deal. And then currently my cousin Jack, he runs in the truck series full-time for McAnally in the 91 truck. So I'm able to get a good insight on what's going on at the highest level. And I've made a lot of connections and friendships through people through all levels of racing throughout the years. But I've been able to see it at the high end as well as, the grassroots level. I'm trying to make my way up, or, hey, I just want to be a Saturday night racer in Southern Idaho. So I've been able to see it from all the different perspectives, which I think allows me to relate to not just guys in like the pro late model or super late model divisions, but also the guys, in the street stocks, mini stocks, Hornets. Because on the go-karting side, I literally deal with, people who are starting their careers from ground zero. A lot of people are getting into Hornets and mini stocks and street stocks, and that's the beginning of their journey. So I have a lot of experience with people at all different stages of their racing, which I think helps me out a lot.
Do you ever find yourself now like having to make a decision as a promoter that you're like, well, racer Travis would have hated this decision, but I got to make it as the promoter now?
Yeah, no, that happens all the time. I've been to a couple races where I think 5-6 years ago, I would have been at a race and I would have been like furious, but now I'm kind of like, oh, I get it. So I don't like it, but I get it. So, cause there's things that I've already had to do where I'm just like, I don't really like it, but I don't really have a choice. So, it's also tough when I'm out there racing too. Because even when I'm out there racing at the mill, I have to the best of my ability, I can't race how I really want to race because I have to make sure I don't piss anyone off. Yep. So I have to, sometimes hold back a little bit from what I really want to do, but
do good enough, just good enough, but not too good enough.
Yeah,
to get you in trouble.
Right. Exactly.
So let's talk about the development of the mill. Like what inspired that, and like for somebody that hasn't been there, what's like some unique features of the mill?
So when John first bought it, most people were there and it's like, what can you even do with this property? A lot of places where people park, like if you were to park underneath the building, and you were to keep driving through into the parking lot on the other side of the building, Brent, being there probably knows what I'm talking about. But if you drive through the main parking lot, you drive all the way through into the kind of rock dirt area, that was literally a huge like drainage ditch. And behind the roadhouse, where now it's John's developing the first stage of the RV park, that used to be a pond. So the property doesn't even look the same anymore. But a lot of what's going on at the mill was kind of like we were just driving around as we were cleaning up the property, and we were like, you know what, a concert venue would do really good right here. Or, hey, if we're going to put a racetrack in, this would be the spot right here. Let's do it right here. Drive-in movie theater was literally purely because of COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, the drive-in movie theater never would have happened. So a lot of the stuff is kind of like from the hip. There's not really like we didn't have some master plan when we started or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of it's just kind of like as we go. So yeah, which I think kind of makes it fun, but it also makes it not stressful, because when we start doing stuff, it's kind of like we're just deciding, oh yeah, we'll just do that, and then we move on to the next project. So
what I'm hearing, and for anybody that maybe hasn't been to the mill, what this means is you never know what kind of fun you're going to get out there, but there's always going to be something fun.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
We'll usually always have something going on most weekends. Once it hits end of March to the end of October, if there's not going anything going on that weekend, it's a rare weekend at the mill.
So little known fact, Patrick, the mill itself, you know, it was a Boise Cascade sawmill. My father, that is 92 now, started working on that property in the early 50s. That property that we go out and watch races on and concerts. That's what put food on my family's table all the way until my dad retired in the early 90s. So 40 years of our lives, we were going to the mill at lunchtime in the summer to eat lunch with my dad. And a couple of years ago, I took my dad out there. We like to take our Sunday drives, and we get out there, and John was out there, and you know, John and my dad together. John showing us up developing, and Dad's like, "Oh, this is where the saw was, and this is where the forklift ran me over." And this, you know, it was. But I think it's cool because when you go out there, and Travis can tell us, it still has that feel, even though it's an entertainment venue. I mean, some of the original buildings and stuff are still standing that you guys use, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything that we do is outside of obvious things, it's all repurposed stuff from the mill. So a lot of the stuff we build and everything is a lot of steel that we chop up and then reuse for you know, things that we're doing at the track, like even what the main speakers in the Roadhouse hang off of, that's all steel that was used for different stuff at the mill. So we chopped that up and used it as the speaker holders for the Roadhouse. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff there that's just all repurposed and reused, and we just try to keep as much of the mill itself as possible intact and not take away anything. So we don't plan on tearing anything down other than, you know, something that's gonna fall down from a necessity. But everything, especially that big old building, that's all staying up. That ain't going nowhere. So
yes, when you get up here, Patrick, we're going out to the mill and check it out, because it is. And you know, like I said, for guys even older than me, even though I am old, in that valley, I mean, that was the mainstay. That's where everybody worked. That's how everybody survived. And you know, so it's really cool what they're doing with it out there, out at the mill.
Yeah, it's great to have such, you know, a place with so much history, and everybody in town knows where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody does. But looks like we lost Brent. But yeah, no, I mean, it used to have close, and Brent could tell this too, it had close to 1,000 employees. So when it shut down, it was a big deal for the town of Emmett, and it really negatively impacted that town in a very bad way. So now we have, with all the different tenants, because it's industrial park too, we have like 200, 250 full-time employees between all the businesses that are tenants there, not including all the part-time employees we have there, plus the revenue that when we host events that it brings to the town. I mean, we're even having Emmett prom there, and we've been doing a bunch of fundraisers through all the Emmett sports programs. So it's been really cool to, do a lot of fun stuff like we've been doing, but also too, at the same time, we're, really helping a town that was really hurt by that facility shutting down. And I know from talking to different people in the city that are on the city council and different things like that, that are in business owners, we've had a really positive impact on the town, especially economically. So it's really cool to see that for us.
You ever have like if you used to work at the sawmill, you get a discount night?
So we actually did a few nights last year where if you were an Emmett or Gem County resident, you just got to walk right in.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of races where 70-80% of the stands were all people from the town. So we try to really, go, hey, if you live here, come out, have a good time, have a cheap night for your family. And, there's a lot of residents too that are now working at the mill and contributing to it too, because they want to be a part of it. So it's pretty fun.
I love it. So there's a lot going on. Just kind of, we talk concerts, there's other things, but just with the racing. So with Kart Idaho, we talked about the drifting, the circle track racing. How do you balance? Because these are all different. Some people will be like, well, it's all racing, but it's different, right? So like, how do you balance these? Because they're these diverse events.
There are, like, for Spud Cup, for example, there is no way that locally I could pull that event off without bringing some guys from out of state to officiate that race. So I actually bring one of the Northwest, they just changed their sponsor this year, Burley Products, and give them a little shout out. Northwest touring series for karting. We bring in their head race director. We bring in another guy from Oregon who race directs IMSA and SCUSA Pro Tour. So we have to bring in some guys for that. And then, like, when Northwest Tour comes or different things like that, they have their own race directors. So, I have had a lot of experience in the cars and then the karting just from, being involved in it for a number of years now, at least with the club races. I got a really solid race director in Cameron Edwards, who does a really good job for me. It's like I juggle it, but at the same time, I have people that are around me that make it easier for me to juggle all of it when I'm bouncing from, different forms of motorsports. But it definitely sometimes is difficult when I go from a go-kart race straight to a car race, because it's a completely different group of people and it's a completely different mindset. So like this year on May 3rd is our first Kart Idaho race, and the very next weekend's the first car race. So back to back, I gotta kind of change gears really quickly in 1 week. But like they say, the more you do it, the easier it gets. But it definitely keeps me on my toes. So
I know. Sorry, I left you guys there. I don't know. My computer said closing. I'm like, I didn't think we were done yet. So I'm glad you guys didn't go off the air. Dan Coyle. Dan is behind the microphone at Black Canyon Raceway, and he says he lives just a half a mile. So Dan and I are going to be out there at Black Canyon. He's a huge kart supporter as well. He loves to hear the racetrack. That's the cool thing. You can hear that racetrack, and it's part of the atmosphere. Who else do we got on here? We got Dan Lowther, regular out at the Motorplex at the mill.
Oh man.
Yeah. See, we're waiting for Dan's next comment.
Yes. In Front Motorsports, pole ward sponsor this year for the prolates, $100 if you get the pole. So thank you, Dan.
There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know where you left off, Patrick, but I'll just jump in with what's the future look like? I mean, I know, like you said, it's a day by day thing what you can do, but as far as the Motorplex, the concert venue, everything, what's kind of the big goal? I mean, right now, are you guys just kind of taking it season by season, or and how can the community, not only of Emmett but the Valley, get involved with you guys?
So, I mean, I would say, at least for me personally, like my goal is, so on the racing side of it, at least, I now have kind of like a ladder, all the way from, I'm getting my first arrive and drive race actually that we've ever had at Cart, Idaho this Saturday morning. But so now with doing that, and then now having the INX classes as full-time classes, kind of like what Harvick and Bush and a few of these McMurray, a few of these guys have done is they've had their kids, do dirt karts or sprint karts. Then they go do the INX, and then they move on to, modifieds or late models. So for me, I feel like with our full-time classes, I kind of have that ladder to where there's a lot of kids that in my karting ranks that are getting ready to make that transition into cars that I've been having come up the last 4 or 5 years. We now have a ladder that all the top NASCAR guys are having their own kids go through. So we've pretty much copied what they're all doing, because obviously if they're doing that, then obviously it works and they have more resources than anybody. So my goal is that eventually I have, at least for the West Coast version, the next Connor Hall and Butterbean, because Bill Mullis, I've talked to him a lot from Langley back east, and he has go-karts at the Speedway there. And he had those two kids start in go-karts at his track, and they've moved all the way up. And now, Connor and Butterbean are obviously killing it. So I guess for me, like my goal would be to have a system in place where I can create racers kind of like that, where from go-karts all the way up to, wherever they can end up going. But I feel like we have an attainable ladder system as much as it can be with what racing costs, to where hey, you can race at a high level, and we have a path for you to follow that is tested and proven by many different people from many different backgrounds and financial situations. So that's my goal. And another thing is at all levels to really promote racers at all levels. So my Spud Cup race for me is really big about promoting the grassroots racer, because LO206 racing is literally as cheap as it gets for racing, and it is your grassroots starting point for racing. And Spud Cup's now a $5,000 to win senior 206 race, so you can literally go buy a full go-kart if you win. And we're getting 130 plus racers now from all over the country. I mean, Billy Musgrave, who's a 5-time Supernats champion, most all time, he won Spud Cup last year. So I mean, we're getting the best go-kart drivers in the country to show up to it. But you can get guys that are just in their garage and show up and compete. And so for me, it's about really uplifting the little guy, and trying to do everything I can to put them in a spotlight, in a position where they can shine. And I believe that eventually with the mill, we can do that with all the classes at some point. And it takes time. We can't do it overnight, but eventually, that's kind of my goal. I want to make sure I highlight as many people as possible and give everybody a spotlight the best I can. So, and for John, I think for him, it's just keep building sweet stuff. So, which is what he continues to do. So, yeah.
And with everything you got going on, I know you guys have had a lot of people you've been working with and partnerships. They say sponsorships, but it's like partnerships is really one of the keys to success out there. So let's say that there's somebody out there in the area that hasn't hopped aboard the train yet and they want to get involved, whether it's a local business or an individual. How can they get involved if they want to be part of the action?
I mean, the best thing to do would be to reach out to myself or John. I'm a little bit easier to reach than John is. So I would recommend reaching out to me either through the Cart Idaho page or the Motorplex page, or my number, which you can find on the Cart Idaho website. If you want to get involved, there's a ton of different ways you can. We're always open to meet down at the mill. Because there's not the property's so big and there's so much going on. A lot of times it's hard, to just over the phone be like, oh yeah, this, and this. A lot of times, a lot of our partnerships that we've been having lately have been, you show up, we walk the property, we look at everything going on, and then it's like, all right, this is what works best for you, and this is how you can become involved. And we have so many different demographics of people coming in that, with all the different forms of motorsport, the concerts, we got Truck Invasion, we got Shark Attack coming back. We got so many different unique events coming in that, someone with their business isn't just going to hit one form of, demographic. They're going to hit a number of different demographics. So, just reach out. And like I said, John literally lives there. And then when I'm not watching my kid or not running something at Cart Idaho, I'm down there all the time myself. So, and I'm always happy to meet you down there. Even if I'm with my kid, I'll walk him around in the stroller. But if you want to get involved, just reach out and we can figure out what works best for you, because we have a lot of options and opportunities. So we'll come up with something. There's always something different that comes up or an idea, and we make it happen. So
awesome. So you guys have your schedule. The Motorplex schedule's out. You got a couple races in May.
Yep.
June. Looks like August is pretty packed, and then like always through September and October. So I'm just going to hit really quick on the addition of those INEX classes, your Bandos and your Legends. Sounds like that Legends division is going to be huge here locally, so that ought to be some pretty good racing out there, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, there's nothing like a couple cup drivers putting their kids in legend cars and pretty much telling everybody this is the path. And I think when you get guys at that level doing it, then, everyone jumps on board. You got guys like Jeremy Doss pretty much saying, I'm going to bail on my super late model racing because I really want to invest my time and energy into legend cars. And he's pretty much, outside of Derek Thorne, I would say, or Preston Peltier, the last decade, he's the best late model, super late model driver in the Western United States. So when you have some guys of that pedigree, publicly stating those things, that everyone's going to, flock to that. So it only makes sense. And, with legend cars, and you can go anywhere and the rules are the same. It's the one class in the country that's got it, figured out. Legends are going to be massive, and there's only more that are coming. Snake River Showdown. That's going to be a premier event that I think, from sounds of them, Jerry, we're going to have 50 plus legend cars. So, every class, if you want to really get a class rolling, you always need that one premier event, the one huge one a year to just really showcase the class. And, the legends got it, and Jerry's done a really good job, pushing this, and he's got some really cool purse money behind it. And on Sunday after our round, we're gonna have a concert after. So that's going to be a sweet weekend. I hope there's still close to 50 cars by the time we get to Sunday.
Very true,
but
right?
That's going to be sweet. So, and INEX is just, it's taking off across the country. It's definitely the class that's hot in the country right now.
Yeah, I know we did. We had Test and Tune out at Meridian Saturday, and holy crap, the legends were just, trailers are rolling in, and legends without numbers or paint were rolling out. I think it's going to be.
I know Jerry was out with a couple cars that he had literally just finished building for a couple guys, making sure they were all good before they went to Meridian to test. He just rolled them out of his garage and popped over just to make sure they were working. But yeah, and if you look at our schedule too, I just wanted to make sure I noted this because I have had some people reach out about it. If you look at our schedule, there are a bunch of TBDs on the schedule, and that's purely we wait for some of the classes that are not our full-time classes. We wait for Meridian to come out with their schedule and Magic Valley to come out with their schedules. And then any of the other classes that aren't our full-time classes that don't have conflictions, we fill in the gaps. Okay. So some of those TBDs are going to be filled in. I know for sure the Northwest Tour trucks are going to be on at least once, if not twice this year. So I think we might get a second date for them, which I know John wants to do. So there's a good chance you'll see them twice this year. But, right now Hornets and mini stocks have one. That doesn't mean we're not going to have more of them. Street stocks are definitely going to have a race or two. And there's some other classes that I know we're going to be working on to get out there. So, but with only 8 dates, there's only so many slots. But that's why there's TBDs there, because those slots are yet to be filled, and they will be filled at some point. But so also to classes that want to come out there, you guys all can, it's hard for all the racers to agree, but if a bunch of you guys can go, hey, this is a weekend that would work good for our class. If you guys got a representative for your class or anything, just reach out. And if we got an open spot for you and you guys are like, hey, we got 10, 12 cars. This weekend works best for us. We'll put you on the schedule. And that's literally all it takes. So,
right.
But yeah. And with a lot of our races this year, we're going to have concerts the night of or the night before. So you want to come out and have a good time. We're really trying to make these races not just a race, but we're trying to make them an event where you come out, and even if you're a racer, it's not just about coming out and racing. It's about coming out and, having a good time, and racing is just one of the reasons why you're out there. So bring your RV campers. We got plenty of space to park them, and come have a good time.
All right. May the 10th, as far as the Circle Track's concerned, is night number 1, right?
Yep.
That's really not that far away.
Coming up.
I know, it's gonna be good.
So,
wait, what else? Anything else, Travis? Before we let you go, I know you guys are about ready to kick this thing into high gear out there at the facility.
Yeah, no, you're probably going to see a post here in the next day or so. Like I said, a couple guys have already been out, but we are open for preseason testing. And just because of all the different events that we have going on all the time, we're not going to have set like, hey, Saturday, this date and this date are test and tune dates. It's pretty much going to be like a bunch of tracks back east. Hey, you want to come out on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, reach out, confirm that it's good to go, and then bring your car out on a Wednesday night if you want and come make some laps. So just with everything we got going on, that's why we haven't posted any test and tune dates, because that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it for all the competitors and us, just to get everyone as much track time as possible before that first couple of races we got going on. But
Definitely.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Going to be here quick. The full season schedule, both for Motorplex at the Mill Card, Idaho. You can get on your social media sites and find that. I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, we had fun out there last year, and it seems like you guys have stepped it up a little bit, adding the concerts and more stuff at at the place. So I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna get Patrick out of Utah. And we're gonna bring him up to a car race and a country concert in downtown Emmett some night.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Travis.
just don't have him hang out with Cameron Edwards. He's our best customer at the Roadhouse.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cameron, maybe Cameron owes me a drink then. Maybe we'll see.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, we'll see you out there on the 10th, if not before. Might weasel out there on an evening and see who's turning circles. And then, mid-year when we get ready for Snake River Showdown or the big money race for the Prolates, we'll have you back on and see how things are going up to that point.
For sure. Looking forward to it.
All right. Travis Milburn from the Motorplex at the Mill. We appreciate Travis taking time to to come on and join us tonight, Patrick. The place is cool. I mean, you may drive up and you're like, oh, I don't know. And the minute you cross over the railroad tracks into the gate, you are at a entertainment venue that you never would have. Like I said, my dad worked on that property for 45 years. If you would have said, hey, there's going to be a drive-in movie theater, a bar, a concert, and a circle track, you want to go there? Never would have thought. John and Travis have done a hell of a job out there.
Yeah, so much opportunity out there. It just sounds like a good time. Like, how could you not have a blast, And then we've got people like Sherry Waters commented earlier in the show that they went up there this past year and they loved it, had a great time, and that's coming from somebody who's been to a lot of different racetracks as a fan and as part of crew. So she's seen a lot of different tracks, and they've been to some really cool places. And so if Sherry says it's a good place, then she knows what she's talking about.
She's correct. All right, so like we said, up here in the valley, this is it, man. We are, what is today, Wednesday, little over just about 48 hours away from dropping the first green flag at Black Canyon Raceway. That is Friday night. Dan Coyle, who was on, had some comments on there. He's going to be behind the mic. He's a great asset to the karting community up here as far as doing the announcing and keeping track of all that cool stuff. Andrew Richardson and the guys have a pretty good crew put together. We're going dirt track racing on Friday night. Can you believe that?
It's time, dude. Let's do it.
And then, so I'm going to be out there Friday night. I'm going to help Andrew out with some things Friday night. And then got to go home, go to bed. And then I'm going to wake up bright and early because on Saturday morning for us racing, what am I, a racing raceaholic? Like, I roll into the racetrack at like 9:30 a.m. And don't even ask me why. Don't ask me why. I mean, I've got the sound and the booth and the music playing by 10 o'clock. And then it's just wandering around and helping. But the time is here. Opening night. I know Brent and Colton and Adam and all of the guys and gals that are working there. Saturday they were painting. They were hanging banners. They were putting a little spit shine on the old quarter mile, Patrick. And it's right here around the corner.
Man, it takes a lot, and there's a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, some headaches along the way, but we get so excited, right? Especially us folks that get to be part of helping the fans that come out and spend their time and their hard-earned cash to come hang out. Like, just to be a part of what they get to experience is an honor, and so that's why us raceaholics, we just get excited, man. We're just ready to go hang out at the racetrack.
I'm ready. Let's see. We got a couple other people. Oh, Terry Hassan, one of our scorers. So I'll be with Terry Friday at Black Canyon. She's going to be up in the Tate's Tower on Saturday at Meridian. And I'm assuming by Sunday, Terry means that the Glen Morgan Raceway, maybe some flat cart racing. I'm not sure what's happening Sunday. Terry, you'll have to remind me. But I bet you that's where it is because Terry is a racing. You think we're racing junkies? What about Terry Hassan? He has scored everybody in the valley on every lap from the time they were in diapers till the time they retired. And she's only like 21 years old. So Lindsay Jean Murphy, can you get the stream going for qualifying like it used to? Yes, and no. Was that a good answer, Patrick? Terry says yes. So she's gonna be out at Glen Morgan Raceway at Snake River Carters, Flat Carts in Star, Idaho. So she's going from Emmett to Meridian to Star, and she lives in Boise. That is her weekend. Terry is hardcore. Lindsay, yes and no. When we're running on speedcast.tv, that is our streaming service. We have the ability to do qualifying and things like that. When we're on some of the other national servers, streaming platforms, Flow Racing, the couple of times we've had some of the other ones in there, they kind of delegate what they want to put on the air and that sort of thing. So, but I will take that to the executive announcing meeting, which you just did. And yeah, it is always something that, to get the qualifying in there. The cool thing about the qualifying, if we can get qualifying on the air, it's another good time for sponsors, Patrick. It's a good time to let those sponsors know that they appreciate them. So we will take that into consideration. Like I said, Speedcast, Patrick, me, Tyler, and Peyton are in charge. Flow,
That's right.
We just have to follow some of their rules, but it is an amazing partnership we do have with Flow because of the outreach, how far they reach out across the world.
Yeah.
So yes, but yeah, thank you for questions. That's Meridian Speedway. Black Canyon Raceway is coming up on Friday night. Patrick, you're only a couple weeks away. May 3rd is the opener at Magic Valley. Are you guys ready? You and the family ready to get this thing going?
We're about there. 19th and 26th are testing tune. So we're going to be up there those weekends, just testing the playlist, speakers, microphones, and dusting the cobwebs out of the booth. And just trying to do whatever else. If they want us to hang banners, whatever, you know what I mean? We're going to be up there doing what we can. And come May 3rd, it's going to be ready to party.
Yes, it's going to be time. Careful, though. I showed you earlier, but I went way back to the old days, and I was flagging on Saturday. And Dirk came up to me probably about 5 o'clock as we were starting to wind down. He's like, "Man, you got fried." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a little sunburn. I'm working on the summer tan, And I literally didn't feel anything. And then I woke up on Monday morning and had these big white eyes and this big red goofy looking cheeks, and then all the skin was falling off. I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, I got my first sunburn of the year. But it's all part of the deal because we want to get those racetracks up and running, and Ray and Pat were teching cars and getting people, lined up and ready to go. So took one for the team, I guess. Is that what they say?
Yeah, take your sunblock next time.
Yeah, it was in the booth. I always have a spray can of it in the booth, but dummy me, the booth looked so far away. I didn't want to walk all the way over there.
I hear you. You just wanted to help out.
Yeah, just help them out, get going. Nat Attack's going to be at Magic Valley Speedway when you're there, Patrick. They're getting ready. We've seen a lot of Natalie and the crew's videos. See the one where she was testing that car in the neighborhood the other day?
Yeah, dude, I'd like to be a neighbor, and you just get to see a sprint car roll down the street. We get a couple dirt bikes where we're at, but we never get in those sprint cars.
We do, just got to tell the Waters family to stop by your neighborhood one day. Fire that sucker off.
Come do a couple laps around the block.
Do a couple laps around the neighborhood.
Yeah, I got some of those neighbors, though, that would call the police. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep it.
Yeah, just tell Natalie, fire it up. But
Can you turn the volume down on that thing?
Turn the volume down on that thing a little bit. Holy crap.
You got a muffler?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you got anything else, man? I mean, the sponsors rolling across the bottom of the screen, tip top. They're the reason that you guys get 60 minutes of motor sports talk once a week here from Idaho and Utah and all around the world. We couldn't do it without those guys.
Yeah, and all I would ask is for anybody out there that watches this or sees us at a track, if you've liked anything that we've done, find Sherry Waters at a racetrack, buy a hat, that says "Race to End Bullying" on it. If you see the folks from Overturf Photography at a track that you're at, buy something. They've got a million different things you can get from them. Get some. We don't care if it's big or small. Just show the support to them as a way of saying thanks for supporting us.
Look, Patrick, I finally got it all together. Here's the my Overturf photography goodie bag that we need to split up between you and me in Twin Falls and Meridian.
Yeah.
Magnet.
Nice.
Put these on my desk. Oh, I got a hole in the bag. Those are the cool little desktop decorations. Some days when I get kicked off of my own podcast in the middle, like we did today, I might need a shot, and we will take that in the. I got a good glare. Pit Stop Podcast shot glass. You know,
I could rip shots of Dr. Pepper in the booth.
Dr. Pepper shots. I'm bringing you these on May 3rd. I'm going to bring you a couple of shot glasses, and you guys can. Just because you take a shot doesn't mean it has to be something that's going to be, you know. I think I might go take a shot of NyQuil in that later on tonight just to put my butt to sleep.
Yeah, it's work appropriate stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, Overturf does a lot of cool stuff for us too. Sherry says they're going to have some cool swag this year. I know they're working on some stuff. Performance signs and graphics. Got that banner. I know that Patrick would like one of those. I think we might be getting one in the works. Just these folks that are just helping us do this little thing that we want to do because we love the sport and we love this family we're part of, right?
Yeah, and we just want it to grow. Like, we want everybody else to be part of the family too. There's a good friend of mine, his name's Ron Duncombe, and he would always tell us, it ain't a party unless everyone's invited.
That's right. We need to invite him on here.
He's got this guy. We'll get him on. He is a guy that has stories. He's been a racer, monster truck driver for years.
Yep.
Like that
That's
guy.
Where I recognize his name from. Yeah.
Uncle Dunk. To everybody in the state of Utah, that's Uncle Dunk.
Yep. So yeah, help us out. Just go to the YouTube page, get that figured out, subscribe to it, make us famous, right, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, at least semi famous for like northern Utah, southern Idaho. You know what I mean? Like, at least get us regionally okay, mega semi famous.
Yeah.
See, look, John Waters he says Ron's great. Like, if you've ever met Ron one time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right. Anyways, make us famous. Subscribe to the page. Share it with your friends. Here's the challenge of the day. Take our Facebook page and or our YouTube page. Share it with your favorite coworker. Share it with your favorite coworker. Tell them to like it. And if you do that, next week's show, comment, let me know, and you'll win something. Don't worry about it. Just do that.
We'll take care of you. And when we started this last year, all my kids are like, I don't, Facebook's for old people. I'm like, whatever. I don't really do a lot of YouTube. So, what we did the last 3 weeks? We went straight to Instagram because that's where they all say that's where they all do their stuff now.
Yeah, we've been on the Insta. We're trying.
Yeah, live on Instagram. So later on tonight, we've got QR codes. We're high tech. We'll throw all the QR codes for YouTube and Facebook and Instagram up there. So this time next week, Patrick, we're going to be talking about race review and test and tune preview. Meridian Speedway, Magic Valley Speedway. The time is here. And
hallelujah.
So we'll work on a couple of guests. I know we do appreciate everybody that came on, Travis tonight, and all you folks that kept us going during the off season. As tumultuous, is that the word?
Tumultuous, yes.
Tumultuous. Sorry,
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm old. They're falling out. As crazy a winter as it was, you guys all stood behind us. We appreciate it. And now it's time to drop the green at Meridian Speedway this Saturday, Black Canyon on Friday, Snake River Carters on Sunday. So we've got 3 days of racing in the Treasure Valley. Tomorrow's test and tune at Meridian. Tomorrow's a Thursday night practice. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're racing. And then we'll be back here on Wednesday and we'll talk all about it, right?
That's right. Let's have ourselves a weekend.
All right. So for Travis Milburn, Motorplex at the Mill in Cart, Idaho, Patrick and the family down in Utah, it's race season. These are in-season shows starting next Wednesday. We'll be talking about it. The Overturf Photography Rapid Race Replay We're going to pick our favorite from Meridian and let you guys see it at 8:15 next Wednesday, and then we go live at 8:30. You good?
Good to go.
All right. We'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.